Wait, hear me out before you go over it quick. This here channel needs more subscribers, but god darn it, nobody's hearing about it. I could use a hand getting word out about it. Tell your friends about it, get more here. Also, the robots running YouTube like offerings of likes and comments. It helped this here channel out. Alright, enough gabbing time. Time for the vid.
Before we continue on,
I'll start it off.
for context for the beginning of this clip, we are starting this podcast tonight, and we're talking about the role of women in Christianity.
No, it's society.
women in
It's
general.
society.
Role of women in society in general.
Is this society or just?
Yeah, we're talking about society.
It's
Like,
society.
like they asked for like a religious standpoint on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is just a rough draft. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. On the subject of women in a religious aspect, a married woman supports her husband, right? And yes, one of the hold on, before you start talking over me, let me say my point. So here's the
Not
thing.
at this time, Jesse.
Alright, listen here, object. Alright, you're not the
No,
lady.
let her
Jesse,
talk. Let her
shut up.
talk.
You know what, Twisted? Just
Alright,
let
Twisted,
me
it's-
just hear me out. Just hear me out.
Um,
So here's the thing. One of the aspects is helping out in the kitchen. But here's the thing. The married couple can act independently. So the man also can help out in the kitchen as well as the woman. The woman can help out in some aspects that the husband in society normally does, and vice versa.
See, I would agree with
Because
that.
personally, I would love a man who also is a really good cook. Because I would love some help in the kitchen.
So, like, personally, I don't know how to cook for shit. The only thing I know how to do is, put a hot pocket in a microwave and beep, 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 3 minutes, right? So, personally, I prefer a woman that can bake and cook.
So this kind of comes down to biological standpoints. So I know some women are buff as fuck. They could beat the shit out of me. But as a man, you're biologically stronger. You have more stamina. Your brain is wired differently. It really
yeah.
is, because
Totally different, that's for sure.
I get a lot of my pride from work. That's why I put so much effort into work. And I know a lot of guys that are like that. We get all of our pride from how good of a job we're doing. Whereas some women, not all women, some women don't. They see it as just like, okay, I'm working, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And I know there are some dudes like that. Those are called betas.
Okay, but continue on with the point.
Okay, basically what I'm saying is men are designed, God designed us to work, do physical labor. We're meant to go out there and work 14-hour days. And when you're married, when a man is working, the woman, has to pick up the slack at the house. So that is where the whole women belong in the kitchen comes from. Because if you look back to like the settlers, men were constantly working. So somebody had to clean, somebody had to cook. So that's where, that whole, or at least I think.
I want to jump.
Well, also,
I want to jump in on that. I want to jump in on that as a Native American, traditions. Well, back then, with settlers, the men did all the, the heavy work, and the hunting, fishing, and the woman was taking care of the children and setting up the home to make it a home. Hey, I worked hard, getting this fish, and I come home to this.
I think also we got to think of, if we're looking at this from just like caveman, standpoint, women could be considered more valuable than men biologically, because a man can, like, okay, if we're talking about survival of humans as a species, the man, you need more women than you need men if you want to survive, because
The men are
You
out
can have-
hunting and shit. They don't have time to
yeah, well,
Or take
No,
into
not
account,
necessarily,
Right?
but one man can have 9 children if there are 10 people and 9 of them are women. But if you have 10 people and 9 of them are men, you can have 1 child every 9 months.
Ah,
Think about it that way.
That's really brutal.
I see.
Okay, and that is really brutal, but if it was like something wired into us from like just straight up caveman, that's all we're thinking about, women are more valuable biologically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why they don't go do hard, dangerous work.
So I think that might be like if we're talking about like the foundation of a society, like that would definitely nurture the fact or the tendency for women to stay home more than men, because men do the dangerous jobs because women are more valuable in that aspect.
Women are more than capable to do that stuff. We just physically aren't able to do it to such a capacity as men.
All right. At this point, we kind of switched topics from the first one to kind of more like a working out. But yeah, here you go.
All I gotta say though is when I see like some 300 plus man who I know works, and he goes over and picks up some like 200-pound thing and hucks it in the back of a truck, even if he's like big and like fat. Yeah, that's a normal sight. Because there's a difference between being fat and being strong.
Oh yeah.
You know the difference between all those people that all like have that huge definition of all the like muscle. You know, that's like that at the weakest points. You know, because they'll dehydrate.
Yeah, you knew
themselves.
exactly what I was thinking, Jay.
Yeah, they dehydrate themselves, and you know they don't eat, you know, that day, or whatever they do to get that such of that definition. You know, where you get that V line to your crotch.
No, you're not gonna get that from dehydrating yourself. But
You can, but like, there's other ways to do it. Like, I don't know the actual workout schedule you need to do that, but
that's about diet and fat loss and like going
Yeah,
for
in order-
hypertrophy over.
In
You
order
know,
to get
like,
muscle
really light
definition,
weights.
you gotta try and get away a lot of that fat to get that muscle definition.
Yeah,
Which is
abs are
really
made in the
brutal,
kitchen, not the
which is-
gym.
Yeah, when they're doing, you know, when they have like a big show of, you know, who has like the most, you know, show worthy muscles, you know, they dehydrate themselves.
Yeah.
It's a loss of fat.
yeah, but that also brings out what you do have.
Well, no, it's just that day. They'll work out, they'll drink a ton of water, they'll eat super healthy. But the day of the show, they won't drink any water.
Oh yeah,
Basically, just makes your skin a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the definition of the muscles. But then, you know, you got all these strong men who actually look like they have like a bill gut, and or they look like they're fucking fat, when really, you know, they're not. That's just straight up power.
I was gonna say, like, I've seen some, like, in my internet browsing, I've seen examples of, I'll be straight up honest, like, what the comparison of what a healthy muscular man looks like versus a model man, right? Like the one,
Right.
like the model men that you see in magazines and such like that, right? Like, in order to get that definition, they, like what you've all been saying, is basically they deprive themselves of water and
Nutrients.
in order to get rid of the fat, in order to show off their muscles. So one example
yeah, but that's like
of
day
a-
before the show, though. That's not like always.
But it's the day of the show and before.
I don't know, I just remember a picture of the Mountain from Game of Thrones as an example of, you may look chubby, but in reality you're really fucking strong and you don't want to mess with that dude.